Welcome back, everyone. So listen, guys, we are jumping on with the breaking news of the last, literally less than 1 hour. Davos has been evacuated as firefighters rush to the scene following Donald Trump's bombshell trade threat U-turn. Now, I'm going to share this article with you guys real quick. And then I'm going to give context to what we know so far. So this is a huge story. So this is from GB News, breaking news. Davos evacuated as firefighters, like I just said, rushed to the scene straight after Donald Trump's bombshell trade U-turn. So what do we know so far? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give what context I know so far. And then we're going to have a look on open source social media and see what we can find. But the news of the hour is there's been some sort of fire, some sort of mass incident in Davos, and everybody's being evacuated, which is a huge thing, especially how wild the world is today. You know, you've got to think about sabotage. You've got to think about near-peer adversaries. You've got to think about all the craziness that's happening. And let's not be under any illusion. Davos, the World Economic Forum meeting, is going to be one of the most secure places on earth right now. But not you can't hide a fire. So let me just give context. So the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos is underway right now in Switzerland, with high-profile attendees, including world leaders, business executives, Donald Trump. So it's emerged like 20 couple of minutes, less than half an hour ago, maybe an hour now, less than an hour, maybe 20 minutes ago or something, that the main Congress Center was evacuated as a precautionary measure. Emergency services, including heavy firefighter presence, helicopters, and smoke divers rushed to the scene. So what do we know so far? I'm going to give you guys the key details. Remember, this is happening right now. The information is very thin, and I've no doubt that once I've given this opening monologue, there will be more information out there. So local Italian media have described an emergency evacuation where attendees were told to leave belongings behind due to a suspected fire or related issue. People reported coughing from an unusual smell or smoke. So straight away, I'm thinking maybe this is something worse. Initial reports to a fire breaking out in a wooden hut or small structure near the Congress Center adjacent to the hotel rather than the inside the building. Swiss local fire brigade statements confirmed the alarm was fully contained, the fire was completely extinguished, and the evacuation of the part of the convention center was purely a precaution. White House officials have noted that the evacuation did not affect President Donald Trump. So, look, I don't know what. Right now, this appears to have been a brief scare. Maybe it was a lot of smoke and no fire. But it looks like the situation is being resolved, and it looks like rather than a major incident, it looks like this was an incident that was dealt with quickly. Look, it's going to be very interesting to find out what those people were coughing from. So local Italian media are saying that people were coughing. People have been reported coughing and spluttering from an unusual smoke or smell. The World Economic Forum has continued otherwise, though security remains tight given the high-profile nature and ongoing geopolitical discussions. So that's what we know so far. I'm just going to have a look and see if we can find any videos online or anything. Right, there's a video here. Let me share this with you. So I'm going to share this video with you guys. I think we'll be okay. Right, not getting anything from there, are we? I'm just looking through social media now, guys, to try and ascertain what's happened. Davos evacuated. Let's see what's happened. Reports confirm that the World Economic Forum in Davos Conference Centre was fully evacuated due to smoke from a fire, from a nearby fire, causing unusual smells and coughing. Right. So a lot of people are reporting on that smells and coughing. Okay, 5 minutes ago, latest from Switzerland. Okay, so the latest from Switzerland. Attendees of the World Economic Forum in Davos reported being evacuated from the Congress Centre due to an unusual odour that caused coughing. Again, lots of people talking about this coffee. So what was it? Italian journalist Lily Gruber. I thought that sounds like that's a German name. I'm sure I've watched a movie where there's somebody called Gruber. Was on site, described the scene. They evacuated us all. We left our things inside because there seemed to be a fire in the hotel, in a hotel nearby. There are helicopters flying overhead. It's full of firefighters. No injuries were reported, and the evacuation was described as a precaution, with some attendees expressing surprise but no widespread panic. Okay, so maybe this is a bit of a storm in a teacup. Listen, guys, when I do these things, I don't know what I'm going to get. I saw this and I saw the headline and I jumped on. The only thing that I feel is suspicious about this is the cough. You know, of course you're going to cough if somebody, you know, if there's fire coming around, but what was in those, you know, what's in those fumes? Right. And there doesn't seem to be any more updates on social media. So do you know what? I was going to close it down before. I am going to close this. Hang on, I'll jump on. I'll get some chat. CS gas, maybe. Could be CS gas. There is no confirmation a deal is done, but Trump said he won't enforce tariffs. It's obvious because that is his only card. He was never going to use physical. Yeah. So James, look, we're going to jump to Greenland quickly. Trump was never gonna, Trump was never gonna have an military. Trump was never gonna send the military into. Sorry, I've got to put this comment up. Oh, you guys are fantastic. Honestly, this has done me. So, damned Doberman says that the Macron dropped his crack pipe. Sorry, that's done me. That has absolutely done me. The fire in Davos broke out because President Emmanuel Macron dropped his crack pipe. Attendees at the conference centre said they've smelled a strange smell that made them cough but feel really, really cool. James is saying, no confirmation a deal is done. Okay, so it was never going to be the case that Trump was going to go into Greenland with the military. Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. He's just going to be making a rod for his own back. What I think, and I literally, as soon as this started, I said exactly what's going to happen. No military, money, buy it, and the people of Greenland will agree to it. And look, I'll say cheers to 175 grand off the mortgage. So yeah, I think the Davos thing, I think the Davos evacuation thing, I think it's a lot of potentially some smoke without much fire. Can you imagine, and this is what's going to happen. Can you imagine if you're a Greenlander, right? If you live in Greenland and Donald Trump comes and says, right, I'm going to give you the initial figure right now is $100,000 for everyone in Greenland. I think he's lowballing. I think he's lowballing. I think that offer is going to come up to at least 175. For me, $175,000 US would be the deal breaker, right? And you've got to go in with a reasonable offer. The average house price in Greenland is $350,000 US. So you've got to at least fit half that bill, right? You've got to at least fit half that bill. And that's gonna filtered out. I don't know. Maybe Trump says maybe something else on the deal, like whatever your mortgage is on your. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Imagine this may be a better way around it. Imagine the average house price in Greenland is 350. Well, don't imagine, because it is. The average house price in Greenland is $350,000 US. All right. So imagine now Trump just says, right, okay, everybody in Greenland, I'll pay your mortgages off, and if you're renting, I'll give you $100,000. That may actually work out a better deal, because that may actually be cheaper for Trump and better for the people in Greenland, because obviously not everybody is going to live in a £350,000 house. Yes, some people will live in more expensive, but a lot of people will live in cheaper houses. So that portions of those mortgage will be paid off at different rates, right? So maybe that's a better deal. I don't know. Maybe I should be on Trump's negotiating team. Do you understand the levels of genius that I have, guys? Do you understand the absolute ferocity of my genius? If I was Trump's advisor now, if I was on Trump's team of his strategic advisors, I said, Donnie, mate, I said, I know you want to hear me out, Donnie. How about you give it this one? You say to people, you're going to pay everybody's mortgages off. Hey, but Sean, that's going to be a lot of money. That's going to be a lot of money, Sean. I don't know if we can afford that. I'd say, whoa. I'd say, Donnie, it's probably less. He'd say, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. The average house price is $350,000. I said, but how many houses actually owe $350,000? And if you own a house, this is how it works. If you live in a house that's worth like $5 million, I can guarantee you don't have a mortgage. I can't guarantee anything. If you live in a house with worth a couple of million, more than likely you don't have a mortgage. That's just the way it works. That's just the way it works. Maybe like $1 million, not even $1 million. If you've got $1 million, you're going to pay that off, right? And if you're thinking about, $500,000, I think, is the top mortgage anyone pays. I don't think anybody takes a loan out for more than $500,000. Does anyone take a loan out for more than $500,000? Why would you do that? Anyway, right, I'm going. Oh, somebody's throwing it off there. Yeah. Ivo Paul is saying, Die Hard was Hans Gruber, and then his brother, wasn't he? His brother in Die Hard died with a vengeance. Right, so listen, guys, I think I can confirm the breaking news. Davos evacuated. It may be a little bit of smoke without fire. It may be a little bit of smoke without fire. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it gave me an excuse to get myself another beer. Lisa Jane is saying, Templebat is saying, aren't Vikings used to being paid off? That's a fair comment, actually. Lisa Jane is saying, I wonder if UK residents will get 100K when he takes over the UK. No, we have too many residents, Lisa. The Greenland, I think that it's like well less than 60,000 residents in Greenland. I think it's like 56,000 or 59,000, depending on what media outlet you get to. So it's a lot cheaper to pay them off, buy their houses, basically. Right, I think Louis Ackers is saying yeast feast time. I want to get Lisa Jane's comment back up. Right. So I do think Greenland's next. I don't see a way back for Greenland now. We've seen all the protests, right? We've seen the people waving the flags, See the people waving the flags. We want to keep being Denmark, keep being Danish. Right. If somebody said to me, if Donald Trump said to me, Sean, you know what? Bad example, because I'd say yes anyway. But if he said to someone who's really patriotic, who hates America, who would never stoop so low to do anything that's not British, if Donald Trump said to him, I'll pay your mortgage off, he'd say, yes, I will. Literally, that's what's going to happen. He's going to offer him more money. Look, guys, I am going to close this live stream down because I did the other one before, and this seems to be a little bit of smoke without fire. But I think that very soon we're going to find the people of Greenland. Very soon, I think we're going to see the people of Greenland taking action and taking Trump's offer, basically. And I think that's going to be a done deal. It's just going to be over. That will be it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10 as usual. I've got an extra beer out of this, which is always a good thing. And I bid you good evening. If you're on and you've not done so already, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, bell notification. If you've not become a member yet, go and become a member, because I just saved, I think, if you drink vodka or you like a drink at a weekend, I think I did a video earlier and that saved everybody at least £40 a month, at least £40 a month. Anyway, I'm going to close this down now. I'll be back on tomorrow and I bid you good evening.